The Trump Doctrine, it is in full effect. It is shock and awe. And the mainstream media and Democrats, they are in shambles, freaking out. They have no idea what is going on. So as a public service tonight, I will interpret for them exactly what he said and what his true intentions are. Just like he's starting a trade war. Oh, there goes the economy. Oh, my. No. They don't understand Donald Trump, but I will help them. Anyway, even Stephen A. Smith, by the way, is now calling his own party pathetic. Take a look.
The Democratic Party looks so pathetic after this election. I might entertain running. I just might change my mind one day. I doubt it, but I might. Because how much would it take to beat y'all? And Trump can't run again.
And by the way, Stephen A. apparently thinking about possibly running for president. Okay. And we'll challenge him on his recent support for DEI. Also, stay tuned tonight. We have a preview. Yours truly will be in a Super Bowl commercial. We have the ad. And later, Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, will be with us just hours after the president delivered this stern warning to the mullahs of Iran and much more. Take a look.
They cannot have a nuclear weapon. With me, it's very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. We don't want to be tough on Iran. We don't want to be tough on anybody, but they just can't have a nuclear weapon.
Why say that you're unhappy to sign it if it's Iran and their proxies who have threatened to retaliate against you and your team by killing you guys for taking out Soleimani?
Well, they haven't done that, and that would be a terrible thing for them to do, not because of me. If they did that, they would be obliterated. That would be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left. And they shouldn't be able to do it. And Biden should have said that, but he never did.
The president also introduced tonight a proposal for the future of Gaza. He said the Palestinian population needs to be absorbed by other countries. Gaza needs to be demilitarized, and he's offering to do the job and rebuild it into a beautiful safe haven. Take a look.
The only reason the Palestinians want to go back to Gaza is they have no alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site. Virtually every building is down. They're living under fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious. They instead can occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Let's be clear. What the president is saying is Gaza could no longer be a safe haven for terrorists to launch attacks against Israel and others. And if you knew Donald Trump even a little bit, you would think he came down the escalator in 2015. Donald Trump is once again, just like in saying he would have tariffs, he is negotiating and sending a loud message to the entire Arab world. Get engaged. End this conflict once and for all, eliminate terrorism in the area, and a new day will begin. Now, we're going to talk to Steve Witkoff, his special envoy to the Mideast, about the president's big plans, and that includes Israel, Gaza, Iran. And thanks to Biden's weakness, Iran has reportedly now been working with North Korea to build a nuclear missile that would be capable of hitting Europe. That can never happen. But that project is coming to an end under President Trump, along with Prime Minister Netanyahu. America's maximum pressure campaign, it is back. Peace through strength has returned. The deep state's woke left-wing piggy bank has been shattered. This was on display. USAID was just exposed by the Department of Government Accountability, or Doge, thanks to Elon Musk and a small team of programmers. Well, the gig is up. The truth has been revealed. Most Americans have no idea how billions and billions and billions of your hard-earned tax dollars was being spent all over the world on bizarre, green, woke, DEI, transgender programs for other countries all over the world. Billions and billions. Meanwhile, Americans need help here. They spent a whopping $20 million on a Sesame Street show in Iraq, $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma, $2 million on trans-led organizations and sex change operations. Is this how you want your hard-earned tax dollars to be spent? $520 million for Green New Deal investments in Africa. $1.5 million was sent to Serbia to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then the fun stuff, 70 grand for, Ireland to produce a DEI musical, 50 grand for a transgender opera in Colombia, 30 grand for a transgender comic book in Peru, 2.5 million for electric cars in Vietnam, another 1 million for so-called clean energy in Africa, 44 million for Venezuela and their migrants in Colombia. Millions more go to Gaza, ended up in the hands of Hamas and other terrorists. Nearly 5 million went to the Eco Health Alliance. Oh, what? So they can fund a lab in Wuhan working on gain-of-function research? Not very smart. We could go on and on, as you can see on your screen, but it would take us pretty much the entire night to read through the list of billions of wasted taxpayer dollars. Now, keep in mind, according to the Daily Wire, why are Democrats freaking out? 97% of all employee donations from USAID workers, they went to the Democratic Party. And by the way, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Doge is just getting started. Buckle up. Plans are already underway for the Department of Education, the Department of State, the Department of Defense. Elon Musk recently said when there is an important task, he will keep working until that job is done or die trying. Naturally, Democrats, they're not too happy. They don't want government accountability. They don't want limited government. They don't want to return to constitutional order. They want the power that comes with that money, the influence they think they have with your money. They haven't been this worked up in a while. They're out of the denial and grief stage, and now they're back to the anger stage when it comes to all things Donald Trump. Moments ago, Elizabeth Warren had a full public meltdown while ranting and raving about Elon Musk. You got to love this. Take a look.
No one elected Elon Musk to nothing.
That's right.
Not one Democrat in America voted for Elon Musk.
Not one.
Not one Republican in America voted for Elon Musk. Not one independent in America voted for Elon Musk. Not one libertarian in America voted for Elon Musk. Damn, not one vegetarian in America voted for Elon Musk. And yet, Elon Musk is seizing the power that belongs to the American people. We are here to fight back.
You fight back, Elizabeth, because guess what? What you don't like is Elon Musk was appointed by the president, duly elected by the people, and he is exposing all the waste, fraud, abuse, and frankly, outright stealing of American taxpayer dollars, and he's going to clean it up, whether you like it or not. And it gets worse. One Democratic congresswoman claiming we are now at war and it's time to shut down Washington, D.C. and fight in the streets. Maybe those hats from 2017 are about to come back. I don't know. Take a look.
We will not take this. We will fight back.
Fight back. Fight back.
And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the Senate. Anytime a person can pay $250 million into a campaign and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury of the United States of America, we are at war.
We're at war? Wow. Most Democrats didn't seem to care about Americans in East Palestine or the hurricane victims of Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. They made excuses for California's government as fire hydrants and reservoirs ran dry and entire neighborhoods burned to the ground in L.A. They said nothing as millions of unvetted Harris-Biden illegal immigrants, including terrorist cartel members, gang members, all poured across our southern border. They didn't get that worked up. Elon Musk uncovers massive government waste, fraud, abuse, exposes billions and billions and billions of far-left taxpayer-funded global piggy bank that they get their power from, and they're ready to go to war. According to the left, Elon Musk is now anti-American, a threat to democracy. Why? For holding America's elected bureaucracy accountable? Take a look.
We are witnessing a constitutional crisis. We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like.
This is a constitutional crisis that we are in today. Let's call it what it is. The people get to decide how we defend the United States of America. The people get to decide how their taxpayer money is spent. Elon Musk does not get to decide.
If democracy is a quote-unquote left-wing ideology to Elon Musk, I mean, this man is un-American as far as my definition of America is. And I'm the fact that more people aren't offended by this man's actions. I mean, shows you how much he has helped successfully destroy the trusted information ecosystem, because this is a 5-alarm fire. Elon Musk is a 5-alarm fire, and the country doesn't realize it yet.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you know, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV. Anyways, all of that is to say is that they don't do their homework.
So, I mean, are Americans going to be okay with Musk? Oh, okay. A guy nobody voted for having all this kind of power.
Let's see, SpaceX, Starlink, Tesla, rescuing astronauts that Harris and Biden lost in space. That would be Donald Trump. I'm sorry, that would be Elon Musk getting lectured on intelligence from AOC. Okay, I'll put that in the back of my head. They hate Musk because he's exposing all of this misappropriation of your hard-earned tax dollars. We'll scroll it again in a minute. And also because he is helping Donald Trump fulfill his promise. And we're returning to limited government, greater freedom, and not wasting our money abroad. But we're going to put the American people first. And you want to go to war, and you want to assassinate the character of Elon Musk, who's doing this for free? Really? Remember, we are $40 trillion in debt. They are stealing your money. They are stealing the money for your children and your grandchildren. And the Biden administration, we just found out today, made $236 billion in improper payments last year alone. That's $250 billion they wasted. And we're now beginning to see where they're spending that money because they get their power doing that. And the inflation under Biden devalued the dollar by more than 20%. Americans struggling to get by. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're paying the bare minimum on their credit cards. The Democratic Party's upset that all this money, this insanity, this DEI, woke ideology, Green New Deal madness abroad, not even for our country, is no longer going to be able to fund transgender operas in Europe and DEI programs in Asia. And they're calling this a constitutional crisis, their word of the day. This is madness. And thanks to President Trump and Elon Musk, America is being rescued from a malignant, out-of-control bureaucracy. The swamp is being drained. Welcome aboard. Those in the swamp, well, they're pretty angry about it.